All right. Welcome to DCT.
Episode 12. Ben, how was your birthday?
It was very good. I had a great day with my family.
32 is a big number.
Yeah, I might as well be, honestly. But great day with my family. Great night with my girlfriend's family. And then DC sports happened.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of everything that
Let's go through everything that happened.
I don't want to relive it.
This was your actual birthday.
Yeah. Can I do it in order?
Go.
Yeah. So the first thing that started it all off was at 7 o'clock they had the NBA draft lottery, and the Washington Wizards didn't even get a top 5 pick.
No, they fell to 6th.
Yeah. And then after that, I decided that watching the Celtics, my favorite team, was a great idea.
Yeah,
and
get away from the bad draft news.
Yeah, I thought they would get a win in New York, and then they didn't. Fell down to 3-1. And my favorite player in the NBA,
Speaking
Jason
of
Tatum,
falling down.
Too soon.
Torres
Decided to tear his Achilles. So that's a lot of fun. He's going to be out probably through next year.
Yeah.
And then the Caps went down 3-1. They got smacked yet again last night.
No fight, dude. No fight.
And then the Nats lost as well. So there was nothing going for me.
And this is all happening when you're at your girlfriend's parents' house.
Yeah, it was a great time. We were having really good conversation, and then we
So
turned
you
the
don't even
game
have
on.
home ice advantage. You have to be in away territory while receiving the worst news of your life.
Yeah, I
Just
think I
huddled
took
in
it,
a corner.
I think I took it well, but it was...
Hey, Ben, how's your birthday? I'm losing $200 a minute. Leave me alone. That's rough.
Yeah, but...
That's rough.
Overall, good birthday.
That's good.
Yeah.
Got some gifts. I think that was the worst day in DC history since January 6th.
Yeah.
That was probably the second closest thing we've had.
Yeah.
That was rough. NBA draft, though.
There's got to be something going on, man.
So I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. By the way, I feel like you have to say that to be a conspiracy theorist. That's their
I don't
number
believe in
one
any
line.
conspiracy theories, except all of them. But
I've never seen a polar bear have to swim. No, dude, it looks weird. Dallas getting the first overall pick after shipping off Luka.
1.8%.
I mean, it's possible.
That's the percent chance they had
It's
to
a
get the number 1
possibility.
pick. There's no way. That makes 0 sense. That
Well, it's
Nico,
just numbers.
Obviously, you're terrible with those, though. Nico Harrison, the dumbass that he is, decided to ship off Luka, and everyone flamed him for it. And you know what he gets rewarded
But he
with?
didn't get fired. That's what's weird. That's what
Exactly.
makes me think that they had something like this in the works.
Well, the Mavericks' entire organization came out afterwards and was like, oh, Luka was overweight. He was a locker room cancer.
But the things they came up with didn't even make sense.
No, they didn't. The guy
Overweight, likes to smoke hookah. It's like you knew that 3 years ago.
He led you to an NBA Finals, and you shipped him off 6 months later. It makes 0 sense. And his reward is getting Cooper Flag. It pisses me off to no end.
But here's the thing. It was a downgrade for them, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree. I don't think Cooper Flag
But
is...
now you have to look at it as a bulk deal. Because you ship off Luka, so that's one loss. But you bring on Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag. Is Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag better than a Luka?
I think they contribute more, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 2 players is better than 1. That's always been my opinion. I don't care how great you are. If you're telling me I could have Sidney Crosby or Ovechkin and Malkin, I'm taking Ovechkin and Malkin.
I also have the thought, though, that any team that gets the best player in a trade wins the trade.
That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
The dumbest thing I've ever said.
Because what
really?
if I'm trading a great player for draft picks?
There's no guarantee that the draft pick's paying out.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that that great player continues to play great.
So you're telling me you'd rather have 3 draft picks than
Certain players? If I'm a GM, which I'm not,
obviously
they
you
have
just
to
said
count.
some really stupid shit.
You have to look at it like you're playing the lottery. You have a better chance of those 3 players being great than that one player. Now, obviously, it depends if you have generational talent. if you have a Jordan, if you have a Giannis, if you have a Gretzky, I don't think there's any first-round pick that is as valuable as that player, if they've proven themselves. So I think that's fair to say. But I do think that there was some colluding. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Silver went to some GMs and was like, hey, help LeBron get one more, and maybe you get a top 5 pick.
No, I think Adam Silver went to Nico Harrison and was like, hey, if you get Luka, who's a top, most people probably put him in the 5 to 3 range.
I'd say 5.
I'd say 4 or 3. If you let him play with LeBron for the last 2 to 3 years of his career, we'll give you Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis.
One, you save, what, $230 million?
Yeah, they were going to have to pay Luka
So
like
you save money, you get salary cap space, you get Anthony Davis and a Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
If that conversation did happen, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, I agree, but I don't see how, at this point, there's no way that you get that lucky. That's insane.
It's weird. It's weird. This wouldn't happen if you allowed tanking.
I mean, I am very pro-tanking.
I'm anti-tanking.
Why? It makes no sense.
It does make sense.
Okay.
Because tanking is admitting, hey, we're going to intentionally suck to get a great player. Yeah. You eliminate competition. And then all of a sudden that terrible team is no longer terrible.
Don't you want non-terrible team to become good?
No.
What's the point of that then?
I want terrible.
You're just going to have the same teams be bad and the good teams be good.
You're not going to have the same teams be bad.
You just said that if they don't get good players, they're going to stay down there the whole time.
Idiot. No. What I'm saying is you have a bad team. They have to suck for a little bit. They'll get 5 picks. They'll get top 5 picks.
But the entire point of tanking is that those 5 picks are good players.
They will be good players.
You don't know that. They could get the 6th pick every year like the Detroit Pistons do.
The first overall pick could be a bust. What are you saying?
It's so much less likely that the first overall pick is a bust than the 6th.
Yeah, I agree with that. But if I have 5, 6 overall picks, my team is not going to be bottom of the league anymore. And I might attract a free agent.
Okay.
But if all the worst teams just get the first overall pick, you have way too much parity in the league.
Can I just give you a few teams from the last few years that have gotten screwed out of the first overall pick and what they could have had?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say 2023. The Pistons had the worst record in the league at 17-65, and the Spurs got the first overall pick. There was a lot of talk about collusion there. The Pistons could have gotten Victor Wembanyama if they had gotten that number 1 overall pick. Pairing Victor Wembanyama with Cade Cunningham, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have been great, but that doesn't mean it should happen.
2020, the Warriors, and this was a COVID-shortened year, but the Warriors went 15-50. And they missed out because the Timberwolves went 19-45, and they got Anthony Edwards out of it.
See, but here's what you're not thinking about, which I totally understand because your forehead takes up a lot of space. If you're a great team, what's to stop you from tanking, getting a phenomenal rookie on a rookie deal for 2 years or 3 years? I don't know how long the NBA entry-level contract is.
Yeah.
Is it 3 years?
4.
4. So you get Wembanyama at league maximum for a rookie for 4 years. And let's say you're the Lakers. Let's say you're like, guys, let's throw in 1 year, and then next year will be a God squad and just dominate for 4 more years. What's to stop a great team from doing that? That's my question. If you have a team that has players with patience, what's to stop you from tanking for 1 year to guarantee you're over the hump the next?
Because then you're just going to continue. After that, you're not going to get a good pick after that. Your record is going to get better and better with that player. Meaning that
what if you don't try? What if you bench players? What if you do load management?
No, I'm saying that you're going to get a good player after that 1 year. But then after that, your record is going to get better and better. Meaning that those other teams are going to get worse and worse, and they're going to get a better player. So you would be
fine with if the Lakers tanked this year.
Obviously, I don't want the terrible teams to be absolute crap for a year.
I don't either. I don't think tanking is the solution. I think having picks protected is the only way to do it. Where if you are the bottom 5 teams in the league, you are guaranteed that you will not fall out of the number 5 pick. Is that fair? I think that's fair.
I agree.
That's a compromise.
Like there's no reason why the Wizards, Jazz, and Hornets, who all had the same record and the same probability of getting the number 1 overall pick, none of them get into the top 3. That makes zero sense.
No,
there,
I
there
agree.
should be a rule against that at least. If
I
we're not
agree
gonna,
that there should be protection for how far you fall back.
Yeah.
If you're a terrible team and you need help, like the Hornets, who have been terrible our entire lives.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've ever had a first overall pick.
The best the Hornets have ever done is, I think, when they were the Bobcats at the time, and they got swept by LeBron in the first round.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like saying like the Grizzlies' best year was when they were in Vancouver. So you need to have protection. You need to have pick protection, and it needs to be more extensive than it is now. Because falling back, I don't know how it is in basketball all the time, but with hockey, the Detroit Red Wings have consistently been one of the worst teams in the league and had to draft 3rd, 6th, 7th overall, and it's ridiculous. They just needed 1 pick.
The poor city of
Detroit
man.
always gets screwed in
do.
drafts. No matter what sport it is,
Yeah.
you can count on them being 5 or beyond in the draft selection.
Unless it's the NFL.
Unless it's the NFL.
Which promote tanking.
They do promote tanking. No, the NFL does promote tanking. But I don't think one player affects a team in the NFL the way one player does in the NBA. And I think that's a fair statement.
Unless that team unless that player
Is
is
a
a
quarterback.
which 90% of the time the first overall pick is.
Yes. I
But at the same time,
I understand.
Cam Ward is not going to affect the Tennessee Titans this year as much as a LeBron would in the NBA.
but I don't think Cam Ward's your LeBron, but I understand what you're saying. Like, let's say it was Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I don't think he can turn around a terrible team just by himself.
No.
In the NBA, I do think it's easier. And that's not discrediting NBA players. They're fantastic at what they do.
But, I mean, then again, the Spurs got Wemby, and they increased their win total by, 7.
Well, it's a sport with a smaller squad. You have a lesser amount of players on the court or field or ice at one period of time.
Yeah.
So they can make a larger impact. It's just numbers.
Yeah.
So I think they need more draft protection, and that would solve an issue. I like that. That was a productive conversation, folks. We got through. You're a freaking idiot, though, for thinking that tanking should be allowed.
Calm down, dude.
It solves nothing.
It solves a lot.
It doesn't. No, it just promotes bad behavior.
Tanking promotes parity.
Parity promotes communism. You want everyone to be equal. Is what
No,
you're
I
saying.
don't.
You
I
want
don't-
all the teams.
I don't want
you,
everyone
You
to
just
be
don't like
equal.
there being a bad team.
That's why free agency exists.
No one's going to want to go to a terrible team just because you throw them a bunch of money. No, we
You
see
ever heard
that
of
now.
Devontae Adams in Oakland? That guy went there and got $40 million, and he was like, I'm okay.
Honestly, with Zion, you could just show him your buffets, and he'd be like, "I'm on my way." They have to keep him outside of aquariums. No, I just don't think tanking's the right thing. And free agency, it's hard to get players. I think it's harder than people realize. You're talking about moving your entire family. You want to know if you like the city, the area, the sport outside of the sport. You know, your life outside of the arena.
Yeah.
But let's get off sports for a second. We're gonna go to a new segment, movie matchup. Yeah. We're going to be discussing 5 different genres. We got comedy, action, sports, horror, and superhero. And we're going to pick 5 characters, one from each, to go against each other. In the first one, we have sci-fi. And we're going to be doing the best character.
Yeah.
Best? Do you want to go first?
I think you should go first. I
All
want
right.
to hear yours.
From Star Wars,
Oh.
with my first overall pick, I have drafted Anakin Skywalker.
So you know what's so funny is I also went Star Wars,
Who'd you get?
and I drafted Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I win.
No, you don't. Have you ever seen Revenge of the Sith?
Every night before I go to bed.
And who won that fight?
He was delirious. His wife left him. It wasn't an even fight.
No, he literally killed his wife of sadness.
No, he got divorced. He strangled her. You know, if you take the Force out of this, it's a very dark movie. If you take away the magical powers,
he strangled his pregnant wife.
Angry emo man kills wife in front of best friend.
Have you seen his eyeliner?
Who snuck on her spaceship. It's not a good look.
No. I don't understand how you pick Anakin. If
He's
Obi-Wan...
killed every age range. 5-year-olds.
We're not going
70-year-olds. 40-year-olds. He can do it all. He's a multifaceted tool.
And yet Obi beat him in the end.
Is he called the Chosen One, or is he just one of the guys? He's just one of the guys. It's also a dumb name.
Obi-Wan? That's a sick name. Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Anakin.
We sound so stupid.
It's not as great of a name. No, I think Anakin clears that.
No, I disagree.
He's called the Chosen One. He was made by the Force.
He
didn't even have a daddy.
You can...
He's fatherless.
You can say as many... Well, technically, he's got to have a father.
No, he doesn't. You don't know the movies. That's all right.
Anyways, you can say as many things as you want about Anakin Skywalker. He still loses to Obi-Wan in every fight.
All he got were the legs.
A leg?
He got the legs. Congrats. You got my legs.
Okay.
Anakin's hair was in his way. He shouldn't have had a mullet at the time. That's his fault. Let's move on to action movies. This one will be who would win in a fight as well.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You go first this time.
My first pick will be John Wick.
Jason Bourne.
Ooh.
I think I win this.
No, I think John Wick kicks Jason Bourne's ass.
That's interesting because John Wick is a freaking moron who couldn't even protect a dog. He couldn't even protect the dog.
Don't bring the dog into this.
He had a dog for like 2 days, went to a gas station, and got murdered.
Yeah, and then he murdered everybody associated with killing that dog.
You know what would have prevented that? ADT. DCT fans, if you're having questions about your insurance needs, call ADT. No, it's ridiculous. All he needed was a fence or a gate.
Okay.
Jason Bourne speaks a bunch of languages. Was shot in the back.
What's he going to do? Speak German to John Wick and he's going to get so confused he doesn't know what's going on? No one cares if you can speak languages.
Yeah.
We're talking about a fight.
Jason Bourne killed a guy with a pen. Oh, wait. In John Wick, they say he killed a guy with a pencil. A pen is more impressive than a pen.
No, I disagree. Are you kidding me? A pencil is harder to kill someone with than a pen.
It's wood.
Yeah.
It's sharp. I could break it in half and stab you. No, round, curve, harder to kill, harder to penetrate. Wait a minute. No, it's harder to kill someone with a pen.
That's a stupid.
Especially a ballpoint.
This is less durable than this.
But I could break it and go akimbo.
But he didn't.
You don't know that. They didn't show that. No, Jason Bourne wins. He drives a Jeep.
The audience can decide that.
They will.
All right, let's move on to sports.
This is just the best overall athlete. Not who wins in a fight, just the best record for fictional athlete. You go first.
I'm going, and you're going to think this is so stupid, Benny the Jet Rodriguez from the Sandlot movies.
Mine sounds weird now because mine's a full-grown adult. Rocky Balboa.
Oh, well, that's not fair. Are we talking about, like, the best in their sport?
Yeah, the best, the goats of goats. Who is the best overall athlete?
You ever seen Sandlot?
You ever seen Sandlot? It's what the big leagues watch before the big games. No, dude, Rocky Balboa didn't even lose a fight when he was 60. He did lose his first fight to Apollo Creed.
He did.
He did.
How do you base your entire thing off of a guy that lost his first fight?
Because he beat Mason Dixon when he was like 70.
Okay.
Mason Dixon was supposed to be the best fighter.
Okay.
And he was great.
But what did he do to Apollo Creed?
He beat Apollo Creed.
The first time?
Second time.
Ah.
And actually didn't happen in any of the movies, but they do mention a third fight, and he does tell Creed, Apollo's son, that Apollo did win that third fight.
Okay, so you're proving my point.
No, because honestly, Apollo would have been my number one if he didn't die.
Yeah, that'll do.
But Rocky ended communism single-handedly.
Okay.
A guy with brain damage brought down the Soviet Union.
Did you see Benny the Jet hurdle that fence? That sprint away from that dog was the most incredible thing 8-year-old me has ever seen.
Your ability to evade a German Shepherd.
It wasn't a German Shepherd.
What was it, a Maltese?
I think so.
Was it really a Maltese?
No.
It's kind of a tiny dog.
It was a big boy. That's all I know.
It was a big boy.
It looked like a
Probably was named Ben. All right, let's move on to horror movies.
What's your pick?
Ivan Drago from Rocky IV.
Really?
He was the scariest for me growing up. We're trying to find out the scariest person.
Yeah, and then you watch Creed and you realize how much of a loser he is.
But that was very heartfelt. That made me like Ivan Drago.
So your villain is not very scary?
No, he's terrifying.
Not according to you.
He is the coldest line in movie history.
We went very different in this category because I picked Freddy Krueger. A guy that visits you in your dreams.
He's got no muscles. He's got no mass.
Can you imagine being so afraid to fall asleep? Well, that's me every night. But
okay, let me ask you one question. You wake up. Mm-hmm. You're in your room.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger's in the corner.
I shit myself.
Okay, now you go back to bed. You have another bad dream. It's dark. You wake up in the middle of the night. A half-naked Dolph Lundgren is standing in the corner. No, that's terrifying. He's like 8 feet tall, 300 pounds, and he's pure cut.
He's neither of those things, first of all.
Have you seen his physique?
Yeah, he's probably like 6'4".
I think he's scarier than Freddy Krueger because of what he can do.
That's so
physically.
Stupid. That makes no sense.
It makes total sense. I'm worried about what he's going to do to me. Freddy Krueger's just scary, but he doesn't hurt me.
He kills you.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren killed a guy in front of 1,000 people in an arena and got booed, and that was it. No, he's scarier.
And then he lost and went back to Mother Russia. And
well, no, he lost in Mother Russia.
That's true, yeah.
Fool. Superhero. This one will be a battle.
All right.
What superhero would beat what superhero? Who do you got?
If we're going pure, like, power.
Yeah.
Power versus power. I'm going Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan, who can literally manipulate energy, matter, time, and is virtually indestructible.
I feel bad because if I knew you went with such a weak pick, I wouldn't have picked the strongest person.
Oh, yeah? Who'd you pick?
Ant-Man, baby. Ant-Man clears Dr. What's his name?
Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan? No. Ant-Man. Ants are the strongest insect in the animal kingdom.
That's your whole
Don't
argument?
fact check me on that, by the way. I don't know.
That's your
They
whole
can lift 10
argument?
times their body weight.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Dr. Manhattan can manipulate matter. He can create objects out of nothing.
Ant-Man can make objects bigger or smaller, which I know you could really use that technology, Ben. Talk about a birthday gift.
One day.
No, Ant-Man clears. You can't find him. He's too small. And you have an army of ants.
Okay. What's Ant-Man going to do when Dr. Manhattan drops a building on him?
He's an ant. Ben, he's an ant. He just picks it up.
He's going to pick up the building.
Did you not? He could lift like anything. He turned huge.
No, he can't lift anything.
He turned huge. He turns huge. He turns small. Ant-Man gives it his all.
What if Dr. Manhattan did what Ant-Man should have done to Thanos and crawled up it?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Expanded.
So you're just helping me out. I think Ant-Man's better.
No, I'm saying Dr. Manhattan would do that to Ant-Man when he's big.
Now, here's the issue.
Because Dr. Manhattan is indestructible. So if he tried that to...
I think Ant-Man's powers is just a suit.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually has any powers.
What if he just... the suit away?
Well, a naked fight, I think your guy would win.
Have you seen Paul Rudd? Let's move on.
That was fun.
I enjoyed that.
I think I won.
Yeah. Well, you think you win at everything.
I appreciate that. Let's talk about the Caps. Speaking of winning everything.
I don't really want to, if we're going to be honest.
Well, I made some round 2 predictions for the NHL that are not looking great. But the
Yeah.
one that I am most surprised by is the Caps. I had them winning because I have to. It's a legal obligation. I'm
Yeah.
in DC. I can't have them lose.
No, you could, but it would be.
But I
Blasphemy.
saw this going to 7 because I do think it's going to be close. It hasn't been.
No, the Canes have kicked our ass.
They've beaten the crap out of the Caps. And the first game, that's a game where the Caps are winning 1-0 going into the third. They don't deserve to be up,
No,
but you have to win those games. You
you've
have to win undeserved games.
You got to close that out.
You got to find a way. Logan Thompson gave you every save he could, and you couldn't get a goal. And then you get shut out in game 3, 4-0. That's a do or die game.
Yeah.
You know, that's going up in the series.
Mm-hmm.
You have to win that game. You don't, and then you lose game 4 in Carolina as well.
That was bad.
Carlson looks hurt. You're missing Faravari. Sandin's been underwhelming. Alexiev hasn't fit in well, and I love Alexiev. Seriously, I think he's got a great future.
Yeah.
He's dealing with injuries too. He had his jibs knocked out, I think, by Gallagher. I don't remember who it was. They're not playing well. The D looks discombobulated. Chikrin's doing okay, but you can tell he's still ailing from that wrist injury.
I think there's a lot of people on the team that just are banged up. It's been a long year, but you can say that for both teams.
Yeah, no, I mean, Carolina's had their fair share of
Yeah.
gruff, and they've also had a lot of player movement. You know,
Yeah.
they've moved a lot of guys around. But the lack of adjustments for the Caps, I think, has been their main reason for losing these games.
Yeah.
The main issue is our breakout is so sloppy and slow. It's not what I intended. But they have to find a way to get the puck out and force the Carolina defensemen to trail back into their zone.
Yeah.
They only started doing it this 4th game where they lost 5-2. Still, you have to draw the defenseman out by rushing your forwards and getting the puck out with speed. We keep regrouping to our defensemen, hanging, trying to pull their forwards in so then we can get a break and get an odd man rush. You're not going to do that against Carolina. They're disciplined.
Yeah.
If they apply pressure to you, we're giving the puck up.
Yep.
The most impressive players for me have been Tom Wilson and Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't like TVR, but he's been wildly impressive. He's had amazing defensive plays. He's been sharp on the stick. He's made good keeps at the blue line. He's pinched well. But if TVR is your best defenseman, you're in trouble.
I think my player so far has either been Tom Wilson or Logan Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I can't even forget about Logan Thompson, what he's done.
Thompson's been getting everything thrown at him, and he's done a great job, honestly.
And he hasn't lost his cool.
No.
And as a goaltender, I can't imagine how hard it is to feel like you're left out to dry.
Yeah.
And they've done that to him multiple times. Our power play, we had a 4-minute advantage, and they had the best opportunity.
Yeah.
Shorthanded to score against us. It's a mess right now. And keeping certain guys on the power play, I know Ovi's your guy. I know Carlson's your quarterback. If they're not producing, get them off.
Yeah.
Why are they out there? You won't see a majority of teams in the league do this, where if you're having your star players not produce, Rod Brindamore doesn't keep out that first line. If Svechnikov and Aho and Jarvis aren't getting it done, next man up.
Yeah.
You know, Gostisfair's out there. You're alternating your guys, giving everyone a fair shot.
Yep.
This whole seniority thing and like, oh, it's worked in the past. It's not working.
No.
And Ovi gets a power play goal. That's great. You lose 5-2.
Yeah.
And you had a lot more power plays than just one. And that was a 5-on-3. You have to mix it up. Put Protus out there.
But Protus is also banged up.
I know, and that's the thing. And I don't want to blame injuries because I genuinely don't think that's the issue.
No, I think we're getting completely outmatched. I don't think it's an injury thing. I think it's
But I don't even know where you start. I don't know what the main issue is with this team right now.
I think
But they did not look good against Montreal. We won, but we did not look good.
no.
That's
And-
an inexperienced team, and they gave us trouble.
Yeah.
So
I think it starts with the defense and you build up from there.
I love
What-
Carlson, what he's done for this organization, but I've always been kind of down on his defensive play. He always
Yeah.
feels like a liability. He was -4, I think, one game where we got shut out. He was on for every goal against.
Yeah. It was bad.
He's getting paid way too much to be a liability.
8 mil?
Yeah, and he earned that contract. You can do that whole, he earned it from years previous. But I hate that method of payment. Where it's like, you earned it when you were in your prime, but we weren't paying you that amount.
Yeah, no.
But I don't want to be pro organization. I want to be pro player, make sure they get paid. But
yeah.
But I just don't want to pay you if we're not going to win games and it's your fault. Mm-hmm. It's too much. So I'm disappointed. I don't see us winning another game.
I think they sneak one more.
You think they sneak one? I think Carolina just steps on it. I think they're ready to go. Because right now the East looks wide open.
Yeah.
Toronto has given Florida trouble immediately, which I was not expecting.
No.
I did see Toronto go into the conference final, but that was against Tampa. I didn't have Florida winning.
Yeah.
Now that Florida's there, kind of changes my opinion.
Florida's got 8 guys that have 8 points. That is just even distribution around the entire
They
team.
have... You don't even want to call it depth scoring because so many of their players are so talented. Mm-hmm. Sam Bennett's a playoff gamer. You got Kachuk, Verhaeghe, all these guys that, you add Marchand to the mixture, Barkov. It's just an insane cast. Anton Lundell. Any one of those guys would be an upgrade, arguably for our second-line center, who is Pierre-Luc Dubois.
When Marchand is kind of an afterthought, your team is built.
Yeah,
like
in the playoffs,
team.
it's built differently.
Yeah.
Not to make a pun, but it's insane what they're doing. You just have a star-studded roster. And Bobrovsky's playing like Bobrovsky now.
Yeah.
He had a slow start, but he's really picked it up.
All right, I've had enough depression talk.
Yeah. You want to do some hot shots?
Let's do some hot shots.
All right, today we have a question that's based off of a movie. We chose Captain America's Civil War, right? That's the name?
Yep.
Do you want to go with your question first? These ones are pretty mean. These were designed to be mean. We got a new hot sauce that we both want to try out.
See, I'm a little bit scared because you thought of your question like immediately, and I know that I know this movie better than you, and
Yes,
I'm terrified right now.
Well, I want you to go first.
All right.
Let me sit in this.
My question is, in the beginning of the movie, when they are in the
There was a beginning.
when the first villain is introduced and the team is fighting him,
Yes.
what is the name of that villain and what is his nickname?
Okay.
I just want to say he gave me the most blank stare I've ever seen out of anybody ever. So,
I know the answer.
okay. What is it?
Zednik. Something.
Oh, wow.
Xavier. Let me think of
Professor
it.
X.
No. Wait, no. Now I do know.
Okay.
It was the mean guy who had a very nice goatee,
He did.
super ripped. They're in a different country, and he's bombing a hospital.
Well, technically, they bombed the
Wow, this is a
hospital.
great pitch for a movie, by the way. We're in a different country, bombing a hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, what was his name? Starts with a C.
Okay.
Does it?
I'm not telling you.
It does. Kevorkian. No, he's...
That's a K.
It is. Honestly, I don't know. I know who he is. He's the ex-SHIELD guy who was a part of he had an earpiece.
Well, technically, he was Hydra.
Yes, he
but
was
He
hydrated.
was disguised as S.H.I.E.L.D.
Very hydrated. He got a
I'm
pump
a
on
loser.
before shooting. I don't know. Hit me with the name.
His name is Rumlow,
Rumlow.
and his
With a C.
his nickname is Crossbones.
Crossbow. That's a bad name.
Yeah. Well,
That's
he's
a
got
very
he's got the
cheesy-
mask with the crossbones on it.
Still
So,
very cheesy.
It is. It kind of sucks, but
They should have called him Jim Rat.
do you want me to pour yours while you ask me your question?
Yeah. In the movie, Captain America Civil War,
Yeah.
when Captain America is driving a vehicle
Yep.
with Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, what type of car was he driving? What type of car did Captain America himself commandeer during Captain America Civil War?
A Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah?
Beetle Bug.
I'm really glad that your birthday was depressing because I hate you right now. So freaking much. How
Is
did
that
you
right?
know? Yeah, it was blue.
Yeah.
Did you say blue? Did you even guess the color?
No, you didn't ask me the color. You asked me the type of car.
I was going to make it a two-parter.
You should have. That was kind of easy.
That's not common knowledge.
No, as I said before, I'm a loser.
As I alluded to previously. Wow. How did you? Yeah. Well, I had another question that I was thinking of doing.
You want to ask me that one too? And I'll see
No,
if I can
now
get
I'm
it?
embarrassed. I was going to say what superhero makes an appearance there
Where?
that isn't like a part of like the original group, and it was just gonna. I didn't know how to phrase the question. I was just gonna put Ant-Man in there. He was in there, right?
I mean, there's a few guys that make an appearance.
It was Ant-Man in there, right?
Ant-Man. What do you mean?
He was in the movie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Black Panther hadn't made an appearance yet.
He was in that movie?
He was in Civil War. Yeah.
Oh, he stopped Zednik from doing the BAM.
His name's not Zed.
What's his name?
Who are you thinking of? Zemo?
Okay, Zemo Zednik is very close.
Actually, no. You're taking two.
That's two.
No, it's not.
That's two, Ben.
I'll be nice.
I'm
just
getting
do
over
few
a
more.
cold. I know our audio listeners can tell.
You're getting over a lot of things. It's a
Thank you very much.
about to
That's
be a
perfect.
fiery.
Ooh, that's a smell. That's pungent, Ben.
Yummy. Oh, he went for it. I'm so proud of you.
Fuck! Oh my god.
And there it is. Boom goes the dynamite. All right, folks. Well, that's all we've got planned for you today.
Oh man,
So,
mama.
We'll hope you have a great week, and we will see you on the next episode of DCT. Have a good one.